Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are just before market close on Tuesday, November 2nd. We're going to take a look at SoFi. Now I need to do the video a little early today because Tuesdays and Thursdays I need to end my day a little early, so won't quite get the closing bell, but hopefully it's nothing tremendously different from what we're looking at here. Also, before we get started, in the description below, the very first line that I have there, there's been a lot of folks who've asked about Discords and Patreons and stuff like that. So I'm really allergic to the idea of doing a Discord. Tried a newsletter and it just wasn't a good fit. So I'm considering a Patreon, but if you have any feedback that you'd like to give them, I have a form down there that has some questions in it, and then just a place where you can kind of put free text. So please click on that after the video if you want to add your 2 cents. I would love to get any feedback and sort of hear what folks think and see if it looks like it's something that could be interesting before I jump in and just start doing something. All right, so let's start with the intraday today. I was tweeting up a storm for the first half of the day on SoFi, looking for several different points because it was quite erratic action here, and it just sort of compressed itself over the course of the day, right? You have like swing, 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 less swing, less swing, swing, less swing, less swing, and now it's just sort of like gently perching itself above the VWAP, which I think is perfectly fine. I mean, overall, my take on today, SoFi being down about 0.5% right now, even if it finishes down, close to 1% or something like that, if it does fall back a little bit by the end of the day, I think that's putting in a tremendous show of strength for SoFi to be up so much yesterday and then come in today and look like it wanted to blow the roof off again, and then getting, certainly a bunch of selling pressure coming in, and then just being able to hold. That's really, I think it's really a testament, a show of strength on SoFi's end to be able to put up this kind of a day today after the kind of day it had yesterday. Now let's just walk through what I was tweeting about today, just to the extent that it's helpful in any way, and then we'll go look at the daily charts and we'll check out the data and we'll call it a video. But ignore this purple box for now because that doesn't come into play for a little bit. But I was initially looking at these candles here, these 2 or 3 candles pretty quickly established this uptrend, and what I started tweeting about then was essentially when it rebounced off this 2187, which we had charted on the daily, and especially when it reclaimed the VWAP, it was like, oh, is it going to throw us into this ascending triangle of this uptrend support running into this 2289 resistance level? And if so, are we just going to like blow the top off? Obviously, it made a valiant effort at that. It got 4 pennies above our resistance level and then just fell back really hard through it. That said, though, it then caught itself at that level, and I thought, okay, maybe this is still in play, and it tried again, and at this attempt it got to 22.88, so just 1 penny shy. So again, this is why we plot these support and resistance levels, because they come and they play their a part day in and day out consistently. But it rejected off there twice, and I think I put a tweet on it at that point and said, just be careful. It rejected off of this twice. It might be losing this uptrend support level. That said, the VWAP is right there. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it said. That said, the VWAP is right there, so let's see what happens. Came down to the VWAP, established, made a run up, came down, basically confirmed off the VWAP, right? Very close, and then started an uptrend again. And I thought, okay, if it can make a third run at this 2289, then I feel like it could have a legit chance to blow right through it. Like maybe this effort here combined with, this is probably relatively low volume, yeah, but there's something here. But here, and here, maybe we've consumed much of the selling pressure at that level, and it would be able to push through. But it just couldn't get, to where it needed to be. And at this point, it was making several lower highs, and it was just sort of obvious that it was headed in that direction. And then at this level, when it was sort of right around here, I think I had put in this purple box and just said, I'm looking for it to bounce right around this 2250 level. That's basically because of the pivot points here, right? It pivoted down below the support level there, and then pivoted up as a continuation on the flip side. And back here, it had flipped this resistance to supports and gone up and hit resistance there and fell down and tried to catch support there. And so it was just seeming like this was a pretty solid zone. It was going to get a big quick bounce and try to reverse all of these lower highs that it was making and make another run at that 2289. I thought that was the best opportunity for it. But it bounced once and then it just made another lower high. And so then it did the obvious thing, which was fell down. And at that point, it lost the VWAP, came down here to 2207, which is a little bit in no man's land. I mean, I have 2207. I have 2187 on the chart, right? So there's a bit of run room there as a percentage anyway. I mean, it's not biggest dollar value difference, but as a percentage, it's pretty solid. And so it fell down there. And what I had been saying is, look to the Ichimoku clouds, when that happens. And, they were just situated well above. I know this ends up looking like a total mess, but at this point here, this is like a buy signal, a moderate or a weak buy signal, I guess is the right terminology, because the price action is below the cloud. But that conversion line crossing over the baseline is considered a buy signal, depending on where the price action is situated. As it pertains to the clouds, that's where it's either weak, moderate, or strong buy signal. But that was able to then push through the clouds and just sort of like chop around the VWAP here. And now, as we're getting toward the end of the day, it's establishing in this bit of a channel here, and working itself up into, maybe even finishing the day kind of flat. Who knows? But, we'll see how that plays out. But, this right now looking like a pretty solid motion into close. But yeah, definitely a tricky day. And of course, I have to always keep in mind, like, I'm throwing a bullish bias on everything because looking to see what could propel SoFi higher during the day. So I'm looking for all these things, then they break, and it's just sort of like, oh well. But that said, I'm happy how this 2187 held up, and honestly happy that it gave a few solid tests of 2289, because even if we don't come back to that until tomorrow, which I'm sure would be the soonest we'd come back to it, I don't think we're going to fly there, at the end of the day here. That consuming selling pressure is a real thing, so if we have made some efforts to getting rid of some sell orders or some folks who are wanting to sell at that level, then some progress may have been made there today, and hopefully is just making it an easier transition here sometime in the future. I'd be careful of this right now. I know this is going to be late by the time you're watching it, but you have this double topping out here at 2260. It's getting close to this. So for the third time, if it's able to actually get up there, I'd look for it to potentially blow right through. But if it can't get up there, then it might trickle down closer to the VWAP here into close. But it'd be nice to see a nice boom, hit that 263 pretty strong, and then develop that support at 260 and kind of go with strength into the close. But that's the intraday. Now on the daily, our old friend the daily. I mean, this is a nice looking candle. I mean, if this was at the bottom, right, if this was situated down here, it would certainly be looking like a hammer. A little red, prefer a green hammer, but not bad. But, on a slightly red day, 31.5 million in volume so far. It'll come in quite a bit higher than that, but it won't reach the 52.7 million that we had on the 12.5% up day of yesterday. So right now, we're, even if we kind of range bound ourselves between this 2187 and this 2289 for a few days, again, I think that's a tremendous show of strength. All told, this motion right here was actually a tremendous show of strength, right? That played out clearly. And I do still think that overall, what's happening right now, the most important thing is it could be, unless we have a really bad second half of the week, leaving behind this overall downtrend resistance level that it has had on the weekly chart since February of 2021. That's pretty dramatic. That's pretty impressive. The next really big thing to do is breach that $25 level, right? That holds a lot of weight, and that could be a challenging one. but we'll see how much work this did for us, and this could be putting in sort of like an even larger cup and maybe another little hand. I mean, who knows? But we'll sort of see if and when we get there, and just sort of carry on. But to me, that's just sort of like what things are still looking like on the daily. Now, on the data side of things, I need to pull up old SoFi here. And also, I had a LinkedIn that I wanted to share. I've lost it. Oh, it's over here. They posted a job today. You may know this by now, but a couple of folks tweeted it at me. But over the course of the last month, over 37.5% up. So again, congrats if you've been holding, if you've felt like a bag holder in the past, or if you happen to buy in at exactly the right time when this recent run-up began, whatever the situation, congrats. Hopefully that's paying off really well. And the short data, basically nothing happening today, right? Situated per Ortex estimates, 8.22% of the free float being shorted, a change of minus 0.03% today. Utilization 24.72, cost to borrow under 1, days to cover under 2. And so still looking pretty sort of just flats, nothing tremendous happening on the short side of things, and I'm A-okay with that. Now, I may have to block some of this out if it loads and pulls up my messages. Okay, we're in the clear. Yeah, folks had sent me this today. So about 20 hours ago, this was posted, Senior Director, Bank Integration and Development. So just another good sign that things are moving in the direction of the bank charter. I know we talk a lot about, if the bank charter has been priced in and whatnot, and I don't know. I tend to think that would be our key to making a really solid run at 25 and seeing what happens there. But I could be wrong. Maybe folks would sell the news. We don't touch on much like what happens if they announce that they don't get the bank charter. I feel like that would probably be really, really a lot of downside there. But I don't know. There's so many signs pointing to the direction that this is going to go through one way or another. I'd be really shocked if like Noto and his team really hit such an impassable point with regulators that it just got denied. But again, that's why I think there could be a huge sell-off, because I'm sure a lot of folks are thinking that way. But it's nothing that I'm considering as a possibility at the moment. But if it happens, I would just say keep your antenna up, because if it does, like, that would be a pretty wild ride for sure. But so if I posted this today, so just again another good sign, or I guess 20 hours ago it was posted, another good sign that things are moving in a bank chartery type direction. All right, folks, so I hope you had a solid trading day and that you're able to have a good hump day tomorrow. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.